Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a quick little comparison here between Nokia 7 Plus, Nokia 6 and Nokia 8 on the table. So this is the Nokia family here, the phones which you can get if you want to get the most budget but well built option. The Nokia 6 is still a very solid choice. If you want to get the cheapest flagship Snapdragon 835 handset with a decent camera, then that is the Nokia 8, which is amazing in terms of the value. The Nokia 7 Plus comes in the middle with Snapdragon 660 as well as a 1.75 aperture camera, so very decent in terms of spec here, and the price isn't too bad as well. So I wanted to see how I did compare here. We're just going to start them up all at the same time, so let's go. So yes, very decent spec, and the software is also very good as well on all of them. I think they're all running like the latest Android. Like this is Nokia 8 running, I think, Android 8.1, which is like unheard of. That is pretty amazing. The 7 Plus is running like an international skin here, which I have started to get used to. It's not too bad actually, with your Android 8, and the Nokia 6 was updated as well quite recently. So they're all running the latest software, and we can just have a look at some of the performance here. So let's have a look at the speed test on all of them. And we start with Nokia 6. Nokia 6 I think you can get now for about €150, so it's still among the best build quality I've ever seen when it comes to a budget phone. It feels like Nexus 6P, Mate 9 kind of level, and it was really shocking how good it was built. In fact, I probably would have preferred if they stuck with that for all of the Nokia phones. Even the 7 Plus, it was amazing in terms of the build quality. This is the 7 Plus. What can it do? I think it only had the slow. No, it didn't. It had 5G, but it seems pretty slow nevertheless. Or maybe I need to get on at Virgin because I'm not getting some good speeds here. I'm not even downloading anything. But you can see the Nokia 6 actually beating the new 7 Plus here. What can the Nokia 8 do? And the Nokia 8 has certainly come down in price as well. I think you can get them for about €300. As I said, absolutely amazing buy for money. It's just the camera, it didn't really live up to the expectation. You did expect old Lumia kind of quality, but it was quite average, shall we say. But you can see the actual score is the best here in terms of the Wi-Fi. Just going to give the 7 Plus another go. And you can see again, doesn't seem to be meeting the higher end processor phone. So this is a 4x2.2 GHz Cairo 260 and a 4x1.8 GHz Cairo 260 arrangement for those who want to know, with Adreno 512. So very decent in terms of the architecture. Let's just have a look at the raw synthetic here. So we do have Geekbench, and let's just run this one. So yeah, that's the one. There we go. Gotta give props to the people who manage Nokia nowadays. I think it's HMD. I mean, if you're keeping the phones all up to date in terms of software, that's some feat. I mean, I don't even think we have that kind of thing on more mainstream manufacturers like Samsung. So I'm just going to speed through this. So the 7 Plus is doing surprisingly well here, given, as I said, it is a more mid-range processor. I mean, it's nearly keeping up here with the Nokia 8, and it also has the international software, which probably isn't quite as fast as the stock Nokia software, which I'd probably recommend you wait for. You know, I do like to buy phones early, that's why I do have the international version. So but I'd probably recommend you just wait for the stock version in your market. Nokia 6, you can see, has, I think, Snapdragon 400 or something, so you are going to suffer there in terms of the raw benchmark. But look at this Nokia 7 Plus, it's nearly overtaking the Nokia 8, which I've never seen before, which is pretty awesome. The 6 series processor seems to really come on pretty well, actually. There's very little need actually to have the highest end processor unless you want, obviously, the benefits that it gives to the camera and gaming as well. But you can see in terms of the actual performance here, very solid scores from the Nokia 8 with the Android 8.1. So that is pretty much the latest Android software. Which I'm still amazed actually that they've got it out so fast. And also we do have the score here on Nokia 7 Plus, very decent again in terms of multi-core and the single core, over 1500, and that is pretty nice. So yeah, you know, you can see here, where does that put it? So it just puts it below the Note 7, S7 Edge kind of area, S7, which those were obviously flagship phones a couple of years ago, so it's not a bad effort at all. Nokia 6 is going to take quite a while here, I think, to finish, so I'm probably not going to wait for it to finish here. But in terms of the Nokia 7 Plus, you know, it looks like a very promising phone here, but if you can find the Nokia 8 for roughly the same price, I'd probably still go for the 8, because it's coming obviously with the flagship processor. You're also getting a slightly better screen. If I'm comparing them side by side here, I mean, the 7 Plus got a decent screen, but I think the screen is definitely the highlight on the Nokia 8 here. You also get quite a bit of choice in terms of build quality. You can have the shiny back version, whereas I think the choice is a little bit more limited when it comes to the Nokia 7 Plus. But I'll probably do a more in-depth comparison between these two phones, you know, which one is more worthwhile to get here. You can see Nokia 6 is still taking its time to finish this test. Definitely think that was the weak point about the Nokia 6. The build quality is amazing, but the actual internal stuff, it didn't really match it up there. Other things to consider here: how big is the battery? 3,800 battery in this thing as well. That is pretty awesome. I think this was only 3,000. So, you know, if you're looking for your longevity, that is something to consider, I think, definitely. Also, you do have the more bezel-less kind of display here, which is good for people who like the maximum content. You know, that could be something to swing you over back to Nokia 7 Plus, but very tough choice. You know, if I was making a choice between these two, they both obviously support the Bluetooth, I think 5.0, and they have, you know, all that good stuff in terms of the audio. Yeah, very nice in terms of the features, although the Gorilla Glass, I think, is only Gorilla Glass 3, so it might not be quite as durable as the Nokia 8 overall. And will the Nokia 6 finish in this video? That is a good question. It is a good question indeed. We are going to wait for it because we do like the Nokia 6. And it's not going to crash or anything or let us down. So what can it give us on Android 8? I think this is the first time I've ran this on Android 8 actually. So yeah, you can see Snapdragon 400 score here, very typical terrible single core and okay in terms of the multi-core. But they should definitely retire that processor because it's not, there's no point having it, I don't think, today. It's like they retired Intel's Celeron, so they should retire, I think, these older kind of processors. But yeah, just a little comparison here between Nokia's Stable in early 2018. Hope you find it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.